absence. Councillors, are there any requests for leave of absence? Yep, Councillor James.
The 18th of September to the 22nd and the 26th to the 30th.
And does that concern a council meeting?
I think the 18th does.
Yep, so that just needs to be noted in the request. Councillor Sawyer.
Can I have a request to join the next council meeting on the 18th of September by Audiovisual Australia?
Okay, I think you just put that through to the general manager separately. Is that how? Yep. Is that? Yep.
Sorry, unless the child's sick or she's sick, she cannot do that anymore.
Sorry, I believe the process is that the request has to be under the Code of Meeting Practice. The request has to be made to the general manager prior to the meeting. So I'm just suggesting to council, if you're not requesting a leave of absence and you're requesting audiovisual, then that goes to, or we deal with that in the next. No, it just should come to the general manager prior to the next meeting. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And under the specifications in the Code of Meeting Practice, she needs to be or her caring for children, and being at work in Western Australia is not caring, which is why I was denied to attend by
Thanks,
audio.
Councillor James. We will deal with the request when the request and it is dealt with usually at the meeting at which it's requested. So I'm just saying to Councillor Sawyer, you're welcome to request an audiovisual link through the normal processes, but at the moment we're just dealing with requests for leave of absence. Councillor Sawyer, do you have a request for leave of absence? Audiovisual. Yep. Councillor Hodgkinson.
Yes, Thursday the 11th and Friday the 12th of September. Neither of those dates coincide with council meetings.
Okay. Okay. Would someone like to move that those leave of absence requests be accepted? Yeah. Councillor Ty, seconded Councillor Castles. All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye.
Declared carried. Thank you. We do have an agenda item of request to attend via audiovisual link. Do we have Ms. Hudson in the room? Because I just wouldn't mind some procedural advice on whether it's supposed to be Councillor Sawyer can table her request for audiovisual link today, or whether it's just supposed to be writing to the general manager. In writing to the general manager. Thank you. So we have no request to attend the meeting via audiovisual link today. With that, we'll move on to confirmation of minutes. Everyone should have received a copy of the minutes of the last meeting. Would someone like to move that they be accepted? Councillor Hodgkinson, seconded. Do we have second up? Councillor Ty, all those in favour? Aye. Aye, declared carried. Thank you. Councillors' disclosures of interest. Councillor Sawyer.
17.1, significant non-pecuniary. I've submitted it in the portal.
Yep. Councillor James.
22.4, significant.
We need to note, just have you submitted in the portal as to the nature of the interest?
Get in there to do it, so I'll do it in a second.
Okay, we just need to make sure that the nature of the interest is in the declaration.
I need to, but do you need me to say it?
I think if we can bring them all up on the screen, then we can probably review them all at the same time.
And 18.1, listen.
Okay. So I suppose we just need to call for the ones that haven't already been submitted in the portal. So Councillor James, 18.1 being significant due to?
I'm a member of the Run the Plains Committee.
Yep, so significant non-pecuniary?
Well, I won't be gaining any funds from it, but the committee will. I don't know how to word that.
Yeah.
Natalia, maybe.
That's what I did for mine. Same thing.
General Manager, can we just, Councillor James is after some advice on it's a significant non-pecuniary.
Oh, well, I'm just going to leave anyway. So
Decision of pecuniary and non-pecuniary is councillor's decision. That's not
you.
for a general manager or anyone else, because that's your personal account.
yeah, I'll be
So
leaving anyway. So.
You either have a financial benefit or not. Yeah, that's not.
Okay, thank you. So it's just the one, Councillor James.
And 22.4.
And that's, can you just state the nature of the interest, please?
It is pecuniary because it's about me, and it's probably complaints that I also made. So I think I need to declare an interest and leave the room.
Didn't we go through this the other day through you, Madam Mayor?
Yes, Councillor
No,
Cassells.
Going to go to mine.
Yes, please, Councillor Sawyer.
17.1, I say.
Yes, we did.
17.1. I'm an employer of one of the consortia.
Employee,
It's the proponent. Employee.
employee.
Yeah, said that.
You said employer.
I'm employee.
Yeah.
Of one of the consortium partners, the proponent of the DA.
And you're declaring it to be significant.
Significant non-pecuniary.
Lovely. Councillors, are there any others? Okay, if not, we'll just go through, we'll just make sure that everyone can see the listed other ones that have been submitted through the portal so that councillors can give them due consideration. They are almost all from me. No, I think they're all non-significant. Yeah, non-significant interests. Okay, with that, would someone like to move that the declarations, do we need to alter? Would someone like to move that the declarations of interest be accepted? Councillor Ty, seconded Councillor McGrady. All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye, declared carried. Thank you very much. With that, we will move to our public forum, and a very warm welcome to our one member of the public forum today. If you'd like to come and speak to the council, if you could please come step up to the table. Just a note that we do have a new audio-visual system, which means that you will also be recorded. But yeah, come take a seat and you can speak to council for up to 3 minutes. If you can please state your name and the report that you wish to speak to today.
Sure. I've made some notes for myself, so I keep myself to the 3 minutes. But Julie Rushby, CEO of Tourism Moree, here to speak to report, I think it's 18.1, pertaining to Run the Plains, the request for road closure and financial support to do so. Yep, that's all I need to do. Yeah. So Run the Plains is quickly becoming Moree's signature event, and it's more than just a race. It's a celebration of health, community, and our region's identity. I don't need to tell you how good it is. It won last year's Moree Plains Shire Council Australia Day Community Event Award. With 5 weeks to go, there's 64 registrations already, and 38% of those are from outside of our Shire, so already attracting visitors. Wow. We know our locals will come in later and saturate that a little bit. We're set to be bigger and better this year. Last year we had 437 participants, with 20% of those outside of the Shire. So the event has the potential to impact positively on the visitor economy. And we've designed it such to be a potential 2-night stay for anybody coming to the region. We've got an active marketing schedule that is geared up to put Moree on the map as a destination to come and participate, but also recover and relax with our artesian water. It gives me immense pride, the community pride that it generated last year, with the number of people within the community stopping and thanking me personally, but the committee as a whole, to bring such a wonderful event to town. We've had lots of feedback, not recorded, from people that were, resident couch people, to getting up and moving, whether that's walking or running 10Ks or the crazy 36. So it's got a real benefit to the health and wellness of our community as well. With council support for these short road closures, we can deliver a safe, professional event that not only brings pride to our community, but also drives real visitation and economic benefit for Moree. So I thank you for the time in considering it and hope that you'll all register and participate as well. Happy to take any questions.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Rushby. Councillors, any questions? Mrs. Rushby? No? I think, yeah, fantastic. Good luck. I think it's fantastic to see this event carrying on for its second year. And we will obviously deal with. But thank you very much for your time and for putting on a fantastic event for our community.
Well, and thanks to council for the community partnership fund last year.
Well, thank you very much. No others in our public gallery. So with that, I will close the public forum. There are a couple of late reports, councillors, that were being asked to accept. Sorry, so there's 4. Would someone like to move that we accept those late reports being 21.1, 2, 3 and 4? Councillor Castles, do a seconder. Councillor McMailer, all those in favour? Aye, declared carried. Thank you. Okay. Councillors, do we have any items that can be dealt with by exception today? Councillor Castles.
Through you, Madam Mayor, yes, we have a couple. Starting from 15.2, which is a notice of motion by Councillor McGrady regarding Mr. Douglas Shepherd, an acknowledgement of the 45 years in the Moree Shire.
Yep, I'd like to remove that one, sorry, because I think Councillor McGrady might like to speak to that one.
Yep, not a problem at all. Resolution register 16.2.
Yep, how's it?
I'd like to.
Okay, that's fine. No, keep going.
No, that's okay. 17.1, the development application, subdivision and relocation of dwelling and shed at 55 Generoy Street, Pallamallawal.
Yes, but can I just get advice on that quickly from the general councillor who's declared a significant interest in that? We probably can't do it by exception, can we? Yeah. So we can't do that one by exception.
Okay.
Sorry.
No problems. Report number 18.1, which we heard Mrs. Rushby talk about, which is a Run the Plains road closures and sponsorship request. 18.2, natural disaster.
Sorry, Councillor Sweet's got her hand up.
I guess if there's a
A significant interest in that one, we can't do that one either.
No worries.
question on.
Yep.
18.2, natural disasters project management expenditure.
Everyone's happy with that one.
Vote
There we
to-
go. Yes.
Report number 19.1, carryover projects and activities from the operational plan and budget 2024-25. 19.2, monthly finance report for the month ending 31st July 2025.
Yes.
19.3, cash, investments and restricted funds as of 31st July 2025.
Yes.
19.4, terms of reference for the Built Environment
I'd like to
Advisory
remove
Committee.
that one, please. Yep. I'd like us to discuss that one.
Want to discuss that?
Yep.
Okey-dokey. 19.5, draft operational plan 2024-2025, quarter 4 report.
Yep. Everyone's fine with that one. Yep.
19.6, establishment of the Moree Plains Community Safety Advisory Committee
I'd
and
like,
local working groups.
I'd like us to discuss that one, please.
19.7, Learn to Swim School Travel Support Program.
Okay. No, not that one, please.
19.8, Drug and Alcohol Management Plan.
Sorry, that one had to come off the list, please. Yes, thank you.
20.1.
So hang on, 19.
sorry.
Sorry, I just need to check. There's
Yep.
any dissent regarding 19.8 being the drug and alcohol management plan?
Yes.
No, there's no dissent. That's great. We can have it on the list by
Yep.
exception.
20.1, review of public submissions, code of meeting practice.
Okay, there's dissent. So not that one.
21.1, request for tender outcome artesian baths, passive and active reconstruction.
I'd like us to discuss that one.
That one. Beautiful. That's it.
Yep, there's no other ones that councillors would like to.
17.2.
17.2, councillor Mailer is suggesting the street hydrant fire system.
Noting it.
Okay, there's dissent. Okay, so, all right. Well, we've got a couple we can resolve by exception, not a huge number today. But can we just check that list that's up on everyone's screen? Just please make sure that everyone's comfortable with the list that's on there. So the Natural Disasters Project Management Expenditure, carryover projects and activities in the operational plan and budget, monthly finance report for the month ending 30th of July, cash investments and restricted funds report, draft operational plan Q4 report, drug and alcohol management plan, and that's it. Would someone like to move that those items be resolved by exception? Yep. So it's moved, councillor Williams, second, councillor Castles. All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye, declared carried. Thank you very much. We'll do our notice of motion, but then I might ask after that someone bring forward the report regarding on the planes, but we'll just do the notices of motion. So with that, councillor McGrady, you're up first with your notice of motion 15.1 regarding investigating the feasibility of constructing 2 helipads for Toomala and Boggabilla.
Well, yeah, pretty much what I want me to read out again, or we're going to.
If you can
Go-
move your
go with the
motion
motion.
first, so move your motion first, and then I'll call for a seconder. Yeah.
Yes, I'd like to put a motion that we look at the feasibility, the study of constructing 2 helipads for Toomala and Boggabilla for emergency purposes,
Mhm.
not only through flooding times, but through emergency where there may be a serious accident or somebody's having a very serious illness episode that they need immediate medical attention. That's why I'm proposing it.
Okay, thank you very much, councillor McGrady. Is there a seconder for the motion? Councillor James. Councillor McGrady, would you like to speak further to your motion?
Yes, I certainly would.
Yes.
Bear with me. Now,
However you would like to.
I can
do
read
it.
better soon. I'm proposing a motion that the council, Moree Plains Shire Council, investigate the feasibility of constructing 2 helipads for Toomala and Boggabilla, 1 each, of course, 2 of each, to address the issue that arose when these 2 communities become isolated during flood events and ambulances cannot access people needing urgent medical attention. I present the following justifications for this motion. The isolation of these 2 communities, particularly Toomala, and a lack of professionals residing in these communities. I mean, medical professionals. I mean, people that are like professional fire people that need to get access to maybe a burning structure or people that are injured in a car. The resident medical professionals only visit these communities during business hours, and that's usually once a week. They do have a daytime Aboriginal medical worker, but that worker finishes only works from 9 to 5 and then returns back to their residence at Gundawindi. Both these communities become very isolated during flooding events. Both these communities have been evacuated during flooding events over the 5 years and even the last 12 months. They've been the Toomala and Boggabella people have been evacuated. These communities get about 2 days' notice before they know the full impact of what the floodwaters are coming, and then they have 48 hours to get their belongings and get the hell out of there by hell or high water, whatever that means. Both communities have ample vacant lands to accommodate helipads to be built. The Toomala community don't have any after-hours access to quality health advice after community health workers leave after finishing work at 5 o'clock. The very ill and infirm residents have to have their medication, the last flooding, had to have their medication dropped by helicopter into the community. The helicopter couldn't even hand over their medication. It had to be dropped by air. Toomala becomes an island surrounded by the McIntyre, the Demerrick River comes in from Queensland, and the Whalen Creek, which is also flooded by the McIntyre River. The CEO of the Toomala Local Aboriginal Lands Council given his full support to this proposal for a helipad to be built on Toomala. One other thing I need to give in support of my motion to Boggabella, at least. A few months ago, when Barnaby Joyce sat in these chambers, I asked him the very same question about the impact of what the inland rail is going to cause flood waters when they cross the Queensland border right next door to the Toomala community boundary. He couldn't answer that, or he wouldn't answer it. And I'll go on record to say that as well. So the flooding that impacts Toomala comes from the east. The inland rail crossing is proposed to cross Toomala to the west. That flooding water from that inland rail is going to back up and impact back onto Toomala. That's going to be worse than what we've seen in the past. Mr. Joyce wouldn't give me a reason why the rail couldn't go to Boggabella.
Yep.
No, he wanted it
Councillor,
so inland rail money.
sorry,
But
Councillor
anyway,
McGrady, can I get you to?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But I'm going on record to say it anyway. So anyway, so that's my proposal, and what we've experienced in the past is not going to be anything compared to what's going to happen in the future once that inland rail line is built up, and it's going to impact on that community.
Okay, thank you, Councillor McGrady. Councillor James, did you want to speak as seconder to the motion?
Yes, I'm supporting the motion because a feasibility study will bring about what we can and can't afford in that area, and why we should or shouldn't continue with Councillor McGrady's motion to expand on that field. I'd like to see figures and facts before making an informed decision. So a feasibility study is a good start.
Okay, thank you. General Manager, did you want to provide comment on the notice of motion at all? No. Okay. Councillors, any speakers against the motion? Councillor Sawyer?
Yeah, I guess in principle, I'm not against the proposal. I question whether or not this should be a council run or council led initiative in terms of feasibility study, and whether or not it should maybe sit more proportionally with New South Wales or Queensland Health to do that, given that a majority of the request around this is actually health related.
Thank you, Councillor Sawyer. Mr. Fitzgerald, did you want to provide comment?
Oh, sorry, can I ask her to repeat, or could somebody? I didn't hear what she was mumbling.
Sure, Councillor McGrady.
I can say it again.
Councillor Sawyer, could you please repeat what you said?
I don't discourage the merit and understand the reason why you're presenting this forward as a motion. I'm questioning whether or not council are the best people to fund a feasibility study, and whether or not that should be state government who should be doing that from a health perspective.
Yeah,
that's what I was suggesting.
They're ratepayers like anybody else in this Shire.
100%.
Okay.
I totally
Let's-
agree with that. I guess that when we talk about helipads for health reasons, council have had no discretion in the one that has been taken away and now being put back into the Moree Health Centre. And I'm questioning whether or not it's an adequate use of the council's funds and whether or not state government would be better positioned to do that.
Okay, I'm just going to pass.
For that, please.
Yes, and then I'll throw to also our operational team. So, yeah, Councillor McGrady, right to
Thank you.
reply? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. You'd have to be pretty naive just to think it's only for medical. There's people there that could be inundated by flooding. They could be quite healthy, but they can't get out of the place. That's pretty naive just to say you've got to be sick.
We live in a floodplain.
Okay, hang on.
McGrady.
Sorry, we've just got to run with the code of meeting practice. The general manager or their delegate does have the right to provide input into a notice of motion. I believe that's been passed to Mr. Fitzgerald.
Through the chair, look, in terms of the motion, it's been presented and it's a council vote to support it. It'll be presented in terms of the project list 26-27 works. So in presenting it for consideration by council next year as part of that program, we'll put some costings around that. In the meanwhile, this can be referred through to essential emergency services for input into us presenting it for the 26-27 program. And there'll be some fun dollars put around it at that point.
By council?
By council staff for council's consideration as to whether they want to proceed with that as a project in 26-27.
Okay. Are there any other speakers for or against matter? Councillor Hodgkinson, I would need to call for another speaker for if we're going to have another speaker again. Yep, Councillor Ty.
For.
Yes.
I just think I have to agree with Councillor McGrady. It's not about just on.
Sorry, you're speaking against. Sorry, I should have clarified. Sorry to cut you off, Councillor Ty. Yes.
No, I just think it's a long-term thing that we need for these communities. And I thank Fred for putting his hand up and putting an initiative to get it up and running. Thank you, Councillor McGrady.
Thank you, Councillor Ty. Councillor Hodgkinson.
As with Councillor Sawyer, I'm not against the intent by any means. I think the intent of preparedness, like flood preparedness and safe evacuation measures, is both admirable and responsible. In saying that, Moree Plains Shire Council has 3 floodplain risk management plans, being Moree, Mungandai and Boggabilla. It's my understanding that 2 out of 3 of these are out of date, being Boggabilla and Mungandai, and the Moree one will come up for renewal very, very soon. The other villages in our Shire, they don't have floodplain risk management plans. So there's quite a number of villages in our Shire, such as Boomai, Garra, they too do get isolated. Ashley gets isolated. Boomai, I believe, gets isolated for in excess of a week as well. So these are, we do have a number of villages in our Shire. The floodplain risk management plan for Boggabilla outlines that Boggabilla and Toomala do have sufficient notice to evacuate. They were successfully evacuated in the 2011 flood as they received several days' notice of a flood event. Whilst I respect and support the intent of flood preparedness and safe evacuation for our Shire residents, I cannot support outlaying monies on a feasibility study for infrastructure that is not a recommendation in the floodplain risk management plan for Boggabilla. The primary recommendation in that floodplain risk management plan was the house raising scheme. I believe it's appropriate to ensure that our Shire as a whole have floodplain risk management plans in place, and therefore I believe that we should be looking at that for our Shire as a whole.
Thank you, Councillor Hodgkinson. Would you like to respond, Councillor McGrady?
Yes, thank you. Well, the towns or the villages that you mentioned are impacted by those floodwaters, maybe from the McIntyre. They're usually a week or more after it impacts at Boggabilla. They've got ample time to move on, ample time. You've got 2 days. Boggabilla and Toomala is at the end of the road up at Toomala. I mean, I'm just asking for a bit of compassion to people that could need urgent evacuation. That's all I'm asking you to look at. But anyway.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm answering the wrong person.
Councillor, so you've already spoken.
Point of order on that. I feel that's really unfair that to accuse councillors of having a lack of
Point of order.
Okay, Councillor Sawyer, if you're calling a point of order, can you please specify the clause that in
Don't worry
the.
about it then.
No, you're very welcome to. You're very welcome to. Okay. If there's no more speakers for or against, I might put it to the vote, put the motion. All those in favour of,
And I'll call for a division vote.
sure. Okay. And all those against?
Sorry, I was for.
Yeah,
So
for.
there's, so Ty, McGrady, James and Mailer are for. Anybody else for?
I'll go with.
And 5
So it's declared carried.
carried.
It's declared carried. We don't, yeah. Thank you very much, councillor McGrady. The next one is also a notice of motion by councillor McGrady. Councillor McGrady, can you please move
Yeah.
with your motion?
I'd like to have council acknowledge the services of Mr. Douglas Shepherd. I've given the wrong information initially last week, but he was actually a bus driver for Moree for 55 years. He's dedicated his career to get kids to and from school safely. And over that 55 years, he's also had plenty of weekend work running community sporting groups, their rugby and
Councillor McGrady, I just need you to move your actual motion first. Sorry, not speak to the motion, but just the actual wording of your motion, and then I'll call for a seconder.
I don't have it
Just
offline.
move it.
But anyway, I'd just like to council to acknowledge Mr.
Okay.
Shepherd's
Lovely.
service to this community.
Lovely. Thank you,
55
councillor.
years of bus service.
I'll second the motion.
Yep. So, okay, just calling for a seconder. Councillor James. Okay, councillor McGrady, would you like to speak to it?
Yeah,
In
sorry.
addition, yep.
Getting a bit ahead of myself. Mr. Shepherd has been a bus driver for 55 years, not 45 as I was led to believe last week. It's been qualified by Mr. Shepherd. He's been driving the school bus, taking kids to and from school for 55 years for this community. On weekends, he's taken sporting groups to intertowns, to Sydney, for school children or for adults playing in the town, rugby league, rugby union, basketball or whatever. That's the service that he's given this community for 55 years, and I'd like that acknowledged.
Thank you, councillor McGrady. Councillor James, would you like to speak as seconder?
Just that, thank you to councillor McGrady for raising that in regards to Mr. Shepherd. I knew he had been a bus driver for a very long time. I didn't realise how long. And when I count back, I actually do realise it has been a very long time since I first noticed him as a bus driver until now. And the acknowledgement is fitting. Thank you.
Okay. Councillors, any speakers, any discussion or speakers against the motion? No, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Aye. Declared carried unanimously. Thank you very much, councillors. Before we get into our other reports, would someone like to move that we bring report 18.1 forward, being the Run the Plains road closure and sponsorship request? Councillor Ty, seconded councillor Castles. All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye. Declared carried. Thank you. We'll bring that forward at this juncture, the juncture of the meeting. Just wait for our minute taker. So that was Ty Castles. Thank you. (18.1) minute taker. Thank you, New Zealand. Okay. So to report 18.1, councillors, we have a sponsorship request from Run the Plains. General Manager, is there anyone from staff speaking to this? I think it's fairly straightforward. Mr. Malone?
Councillors.
Yep.
This report brings forward a recommendation to allow the closure of roads in Moree for the Run the Plains event in 26th September. Approve the temporary road closures and sponsors the fees associated with the traffic control and road closures for the run from our existing budget using our resources to facilitate the closure.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Mr. Malone.
Through you, Mayor, just double checking that the road closure has gone through and have been not approved, but yeah, by the traffic committee, local committee.
We haven't provided a briefing note to the councillors yet, but the remit of the traffic and the local traffic committee has significantly changed over the last month. We're providing a briefing note is no longer generally required to report to that committee, and that committee is also being renamed. So we, on this occasion, we're allowed to go straight to council.
Yeah. Just a quick note on that. So apparently the Office of Local Government has proposed quite significant changes in the way that local traffic committees operate without consultation with our peak body, Local Government New South Wales, or extensive consultation with councils. So there are some changes proposed. Can I get a mover for that? Is there a mover for the motion? Councillor Tai, seconded Councillor Mailer. Would you like to speak to the motion, Councillor Tai?
I'd just like to wish the committee all the best for the event, and I hope it becomes very popular over the next few years.
Lovely. Councillor Mallard, do you want to speak to the motion? No. Any speakers against the motion? With that, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Aye. Declared carried. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Run the Plains. All the best. Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Would someone like to bring Councillor James back in? Because she declared an interest in that report.
Yeah, I'm getting the draft.
You'll give the draft?
I was getting the draft.
Okay, so we now move on to, where are we going to, Ms. Eden? We are going to 16.1.
Being able to move the.
Okay, councillors, did you, so Ms. Eden has just advised if you go out of your resolve and go back into it, the reports will now be in order for where we are up to on the agenda, which brings us to 16.1. Is that correct, Ms. Eden?
Yes.
Fantastic. So 16.1. Are you speaking to that one, Ms. Eden, perhaps? No, that's all right. So, councillors, we've just got a recommendation here to get a delegate to the committee of the. I have attended this meeting. I think it happens every couple of months. It is basically the local reference group for the local health committee, but it's and essentially the hospital, etc. And they have these committees in all different areas, and they have either a councillor or deputy mayor or mayor. We don't really need three of us, but thought that there might be a councillor interested in putting their name forward as the delegate to this committee. So the report recommends that we note the importance of the committee, and then I would suggest just a councillor. They have said that the mayor and deputy mayor can attend anytime they wish to, but it would be really great to have a councillor attend these meetings. So is there someone who would like to nominate? Councillor Castles would like to nominate is there any other councillors interested in being on the committee? No? Well, with that, it might be very simple to insert Councillor Castles's name in there. And then would someone like to move with that report? Fantastic. Councillor Mailer, seconder. Councillor Sawyer, all those in favour? Aye. Declared carried. Thank you, Councillor Castles.
You.
Yes, Councillor Sawyer.
Ms. Eden, so according to the screen, 18.2 was next in line, not 16.1. Am I seeing that correctly?
No.
We
Jumped ahead.
in resolve. We've just jumped ahead.
Oh.
We have.
18.2 was dealt with by exception.
By exception. Yeah, no, we're on.
Still sitting in our resolve then.
It is. They will. It's just we have to scroll down to be on the ones that we have already.
So how do you see them in here as being passed by exception and ones that haven't?
They don't. It's just that the order has the ones that they've been brought up in the order, the ones that have already been resolved by exceptions, so that it makes us easier to follow.
In the agenda.
So it's just been brought forward in the agenda because they've been dealt with. So we now move on to report 16.2 being the resolution register. So the report's asking that we receive and note the resolution at August 2025. General Manager, did you want to provide any comment?
Through you, Mayor, this is the resolution register for all council reports that occurred during the last term of council. It is updated as of August 2025, and it is seeking the visibility of council, providing the visibility of council about which ones council staff have finalised, and with the hope that going forward, only the ones that haven't been finalised will be brought. In September, we will bring the resolution register for this term of council, for council's resolution.
Lovely, thank you. All right, so we have a motion there that council receive and note the resolution register as at August 2025. Councillor James, are you moving it?
Yeah, I'll move it.
Yep, so Councillor James is moving it. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Mailer. Councillor James, you're speaking to the motion?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to congratulate the staff for going through all of those and getting them done as quickly as possible. I understand it's only up to the end of August last year, and that there would be a lot more from August last year until now that haven't been dealt with. I just had a query in regards to the ARTC one, where council is supposed to meet with ARTC, and I think it's important to continue pushing that one to some sort of fruition, because we need to know where we are on track with the ARTC for the next stage of the inland rail project. We seem to be stalled, and that I noticed that was not something that has been completely dealt with. We did ask for that like way back in the middle of the last term, and it seems to have taken a long time. If we can sort of get that to fruition, because I know there's a lot of people waiting on an answer as to what's happening with the inland rail.
Do you want to provide a response, Amanda?
Through
Or do you need a number?
through you, Mayor. Yes, that has been a body of work that council staff have been involved in up until May this year. But some of the we have reached a little bit of a stalling point in terms of the communications for both sides. It is definitely something that is of high importance to our radar. We have had some resourcing changes on our side, and there hasn't been anything instigated over to us in terms of contractually or otherwise for us to handle, which otherwise would have definitely come to the priority list. So we will make sure that we follow that up, and we'll continue to push.
Okay. I just want to probably provide a quick comment. The interface agreement is I believe one of the issues that is outstanding, and that the council's resolution was to enter into the agreement with ARTC, and it's now been so maybe if we can receive an update on that in some way.
Sure.
I think that would be beneficial, because we all know the importance of inland rail. Completely support Councillor James's stressing of that. Councillor Sawyer.
Just a point of clarity. When I looked at this, I thought maybe I had something wrong with my screen, but in the PDF attachment, it is just one page over and over and over again. So my registering is just one page, but in there 20 times.
I have the full thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, mine too now.
I have the full document.
Mine's not. All right, we might just take that on notice and just see if we can get that looked at. But if there's no speakers against, or are there any other questions, councillors, or can
I would like to see that fixed potentially first, because I actually haven't been able to see it.
Okay.
Or is there somewhere that it can be somewhere else that I can access it?
I can email it. Yes.
Sorry, if you keep scrolling down, for some reason, a heap of them are repeated at the start, I think. And then as you get further down to about page 40 on resolve, you'll
So the
start
first 40 pages are a repeat of
pretty much, I think, yeah. And I only know that because I'm looking at coding on the side. And by the time I get to page 40, you can start to see a difference. But the rest are all repeated. Oh,
I'm
yours
at 45.
Okay, yours is still,
Mine's still a repeat of page one.
is yours 127 pages?
127 pages.
Yeah.
Okay. We need to,
I looked at it last night and it was the same.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
General Manager, can you please provide?
Okay, I'm sorry about this. Yes, something's happened. All councillors will be emailed the proper version of that, and the version will be also uploaded. Sorry about that.
Okay, so we have a mover and seconder. I'll put the motion. I suppose there's a bit of challenge here though, because if the report's not quite accurate, anyway, that's for councillors' considerations. I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
I declared carried. Thank you. Okay, moving on to 17.1, being the development application, subdivision and relocation of dwelling and shed at 55 General Street, Palomella Walk. Can't believe I just mispronounced that. I'm tired. General Manager, yep, Mr. Fitzgerald.
Through the chair.
Sorry, is this 17.1?
Yes. Yep. So we'll just wait. Councillor Sawyer has declared an interest in this report.
Through the chair, the reason for this matter being reported to council is it started as unauthorised development, with the development application being submitted. It fully complies with council's adopted policy. That a direction given to staff is due to the volume of unauthorised development we have around town at the moment, and to give them report writing experience, we are sending them through the council.
Okay.
But it's recommended for approval.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Mr. Fitzgerald. Do we have a mover of the motion? Councillor Ty, seconded Councillor Castles. Do you want to speak to it, Councillor Ty? Councillor Castles, would you like to speak? Any speak? Okay. Any speakers against? No. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Aye. Declared carried. Thank you. Yep. Councillor Sawyer, return to the meeting. We move to 17.2, being council's street hydrant fire service system. The report's asking that we note the report. General Manager is Mr. Fitzgerald. He's speaking to this one. Thanks.
Through the chair, this report is being presented just to keep councillors informed of, I think, what may become a recurring issue with any larger scale developments coming through. It's not a recent problem. I'd say it's probably been historical, but the issue could arise around, I think, historical developments that have relied on street hydrants for protection. Should they submit their annual fire safety statements, and if hydrants are tested and they fail, the outcome of that could be that through our building team we'd be forced to issue fire safety orders required to bring them into compliance, which has a cost impact. Depending on the cost of that, there is the potential that some businesses could close. That is the worst case scenario. So it's more to inform councillors of that issue should be approached.
So do we have a mover of the report? Councillor Mailer, second Councillor Castles. Councillor Mailer, do you want to speak to it?
Only that it's a report that's to inform the council. It's just a note, and then we're just being asked to note it. There's nothing, there's no outcome from this other than we are being informed. So thank you for the report and thank you for the information.
Thank you, Councillor Mailer. Councillor Castles?
Ditto.
You wanted to speak against the report?
I would like to offer an amendment to the
Yep.
recommendation. We're being given councillors information that our street fire hydrant service program is not up to scratch for when anybody does a new development. So that's anybody who puts in a new development in town. We've been asked to receive this for information, but then we're not being asked to do anything about it.
Okay,
me,
Councillor, can you move your amendment?
I would like to amend it that council be provided with information in regards to our obligation to the fire safety standards for the fire hydrants. What is our obligation to?
Okay, can we just get your motion, your amendment? Can you either put it through resolve or are we? Okay, our minute taker can. I just need you to actually move your amendment.
that council be provided with a report noting our obligation to, noting what obligations we have to undertake any remedial works in regards to this. Because we're noting the report that we're not up to scratch, but we're not able to do anything about it. So what's our obligation? The council be provided with a report on council's obligation to be in line with the current protocols for the building code in regard to fire hydrant. What would you call it? Fire hydrant.
Street hydrants.
Yeah, I'll just seek some,
Street
Mr.
hydrant,
Fitzgerald.
sorry.
Actually, in the report.
Okay,
Yeah, through the chair, council has no legislative obligation to provide a street hydrant system that's achieving the required pressure or flow rate. So as in terms of the burnout houses that occur around town, it's not an issue for the local fire brigade. We haven't heard any complaints from them because of the booster they have in the tanker. So when they rock up, they don't have an issue with it. Council doesn't test every hydrant, so I'm not saying that every hydrant in town fails to deliver the required pressure. Generally, we achieve the minimum flow rates. It's only the hydrants that are tested for some of the larger scale developments that have occurred around town, such as WJ Matthews Council's Memorial Hall, for example. But in terms of legislative responsibility, it's council is not required to provide a street hydrant system that meets the standards.
But we are
that's
enforcing
okay.
that on
Councillor
buildings.
James, please. Does that satisfy what you were requesting?
No, because we're
Okay.
forcing that cost onto builders. and
Okay, so let's just, so can you just finish your amendment?
developers. The current protocols of the building and what is it called? Street hydrant system, street fire hydrant system.
Okay, do we have a seconder for the amendment? Councillor McGrady? Okay, Councillor James, do you want to speak to your amendment?
Just that I want to amend it because we are enforcing these costs onto development companies, whether it be internal developments or housing developments or building business developments, whatever. We're pushing this on as a cost that they have to cover to make sure that they're up to the fire safety risk. But then we have no obligation when it's our fire hydrants. I don't understand how we don't have an obligation when it's our fire hydrants, but we're forcing that cost to be upgraded for the buildings that we're approving to be developed.
Okay. Councillor McGrady, do you want to speak to it?
I'm in support.
Okay, thank you. Any speakers against the amendment? Councillor Mailer?
So the report actually states quite clearly, while council is not legislatively obligated to provide hydrants to comply with the standard, right? So it actually tells us already that we're not required to do that. So we're not on the hook for this. This is about, so council isn't obliged to provide a street hydrant system that meets that fire code. Any development that goes forward has to ensure that they actually meet the code that they can. So that's already what's being asked for in the amendment is actually in the report.
Okay, Councillor James, you've got a reply.
My problem is that we are enforcing this cost onto developers to develop anything in this town. We are saying that they must be up to fire safety standards with the hydrants, yet we own the hydrants and we have no obligation. How can we have no obligation when we're forcing developers to cover that cost, which is upwards of $200,000 in some cases? We're asking them to shoulder that cost, but we have no obligation whatsoever to provide any sort of resolution to that cost.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Through the chair, in terms of this, this isn't a unique Moree problem. But you'll have instances like this through Sydney, any major urban area, country towns. In terms of a developer coming onto a site and doing it on over 500 square metres, one of the things I do in terms of the design, and they have Building Code of Australia requirements to meet fire safety standards, they have to do it, achieve a design that meets the required standards. Now, one of the first things they'll do is you'll do pressure testing of street hydrant system, informing their design before they've even lodged the DA what's required. So in that instance, if the street hydrant system fails to deliver either flow rate or pressure system, they may have to design a booster and a tank system on site, or they come up with another fire performance solution. It's definitely, I'd say it's not, you wouldn't call it uncommon. It happens regularly throughout Australia. It's definitely not a Moree problem, and I'm not indicating in this report that it is.
Okay, thank you. I just also probably want to note that our integrated water cycle management strategy plan is yet to come to council, and I would suggest that the town's water pressure, etc., should be considered in that plan. So I think there's a few ways to skin the cat. Anyway, we have an amendment. I'll put the amendment. All those in favour of the amendment? 3. The amendment's lost. We go back to the original motion that council notes the report. I'll put the original motion. All those in favour of the original motion? Declared carried.
I'm voting against it.
Okay. Yep. 2 against. Declared carried. Thank you. Beg your pardon? Councillor McGrady. Okay. Moving on. 19.1 being carryover projects in the operational plan and budget. Sits under finance. Mr. Stoneman, General Manager, can you present the report, please?
Through you, Mayor.
Yeah.
19.1.
Yeah.
Yeah, 19.5.
Oh, was exception.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Sorry, thank you. And 19.2, sorry.
19.3.
Thank you. My apologies. That's why everyone's looking at me like I'm insane. I'm very sorry. So
19.4, 19.6 and 19.7 are the ones that go through in this file.
thank you very much, Councillor Hodgkinson. So we're up to 19.4, being the terms of reference for the Built Environment Committee. General Manager? Mr. Stoneman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, through you. At the March Ordinary Council meeting, Council resolved to establish a Built Environment Advisory Committee, which was the combination of the previous 2 committees, the Urban Advisory Committee and the Disability Inclusion Committee. At the July meeting, Council determined who the community representatives were to be to serve on that committee. Staff recommended that Council call for further expressions of interest to seek additional representatives, to increase the number of participants on the committee from 3 to 6, and also to seek to try and find some members of the community who had greater skill sets and knowledge within the disability sector.
Lovely. So is that an alternative recommendation, Mr. Stoneman?
That's what, following the meeting on Tuesday. Yep, it's changed.
Okay, so do we have the alternative recommendation? We have it in front of us. Wonderful. Okay, would someone like to move the alternative recommendation? Thank you, Councillor Cassell. Seconded. Councillor James. All those in, do you want to speak to it, Councillor Cassells?
No, I think it's self-explanatory.
Lovely. Do you want to speak to it, Councillor James?
Yeah, I do. I think we need a broader representation on that committee, given that some people tend to overtake those committees with their claimed knowledge, and we need people with lived experience that are a little bit different to the people that have been on it previously. So I think we need to be very tactful about who goes on those committees.
Okay, with that, I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye, declared carried. Thank you. Okay, 19.6, the establishment of the Moree Plains Community Safety Advisory Committee and local working groups. Mr. Stoneman, back to you.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor. At the July Council meeting, Council directed the General Manager to bring to Council a report concerning the re-establishment of the Shire's Community Safety Committee. As it was proposed that Council establish, it was proposed that Council establish the Moree Plains Community Safety Advisory Committee to provide advice to Council on a Shire-wide community and safety basis. The committee will also serve as a forum for discussing village-specific challenges and opportunities raised by local working groups. It's also proposed that the committee be supported by those local working groups to provide further input into I would say, the parent committee, if you like. The committee will have no delegated authority from council and cannot bind council to any of its actions. Recommendations from the committee will be reported to the next available council meeting. Staff will also seek council's endorsement to commence an expression of interest process for committee members and local committee members as well.
Thank you, Mr. Stoneman. Councillors, is there a mover for the motion? Councillor Castles, is there a seconder? Councillor Sawyer, Councillor Castles, do you want to speak?
Yes, I would. Thank you, Mr. Stoneman. I think it's great. We do have a crime problem in this town and in the villages, and it's very commendable that we're now going to get it started again.
Who was our seconder? I'm so sorry. I've just Councillor Sawyer. Yep. Any speakers against? I suppose I just have a question, Mr. Stoneman, and I did raise this question earlier. I note that previously council has had community safety committees in Moree, Boggabilla and Mungandai. Note that Toomala is being recommended for, but also the community of Ashley. Was there a reason why Ashley was selected and not other villages?
Madam Mayor, this report was written by one of my staff members, and I did not get an answer because that person was all why Ashley was included at this point, but I certainly will follow it up.
Yeah, so
look, I'll take it on notice.
Councillor Mailer?
I guess I'm wondering whether we shouldn't make an amendment to generalise that line to the villages where appropriate. So I've just remove an amendment, because if we just single out Ashley, then we're precluding other villages as well, which you may or may not. So I guess endorse establishment of local community safety working groups in villages as needed.
So you're proposing an amendment. Is there a seconder for the amendment? Councillor Castles, or are you were the original mover? So are you just going to accept the amendment? General Manager, do you have any comment on the amendment?
No, look, I think that that makes sense, and council staff can do a canvas as part of the review of the community and find out and suggest back to council which villages.
Okay, so can I just get some procedural clarity on this? Because if we change that, this report is actually recommending that we are standing up these committees and then call expressions of interest. Essentially, then we're not endorsing those committees in this report. And that means that we're asking our team to go out to come back or to do canvassing in the community and then come back to us. I just think we're
moving to
committee of the whole.
Yep.
Would someone like to move that we go into committee of the whole? Councillor Mailer, seconded. Councillor Ty, all those in favour? I declared carried. Thank you. Yeah, look, my concern just is I just think we need to get these things up and running. And yeah, I just think we need to provide an instruction to the team in terms of what we're doing. Otherwise, we're kicking the can further down the road potentially.
But can I suggest then that perhaps the strategy is to stand them up for you? We've identified previously we need them in Boggabilla, Toomala and Mungandai, or Boggabilla, Toomala is together. It's one committee. Do we then provide a provision and for other villages if necessary?
Yes, I'd be happy with that personally, including Moree in it, obviously.
Yeah, well, Moree's, yes.
Yeah, so just removing Ashley from the list.
Specifically, yes, and leaving it open that it may be added in later if there's a good reason.
Yeah. So can we just remove Ashley from the list and then just put on put on the end and consider other areas.
Other areas if deemed necessary.
If deemed necessary.
Through you, Madam Mayor, the expression of interest may highlight some members in local areas who wish to be involved. That may help us formulate local committees.
I would think also, Mr. Stoneman, that potentially the Moree committee could have residents from Ashley sitting on that committee, given its proximity to Moree. Maybe it's kind of a Moree area rather than rather than, and considered in terms of geographic proximity to the closest one, rather than necessarily needing one for each village per se, because that would just, I can just imagine that would be a huge job for our team to a committee for every single village. Not saying that every village doesn't have a right to an opinion and a say, but they're, yeah. So with that, are we comfortable with the amendment that's there? So would someone like to move we go out of committee of the whole? Councillor Mailer, seconded Councillor Ty. All those in favour? I declared carried. So Councillor Castles, you moved the original motion. Are you happy to accept the recommendation
Yes.
out of the committee?
Yes, I am.
And Councillor Sawyer, I think, were you the seconder? Yes. Were you happy to accept? Okay. With that, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? I declared carried. Thank you, councillors. Thank you. 19.7, the Learn to Swim School Travel Transport Program. Mr. Stoneman.
Wasn't it Ms. Pipos
Yes,
spoke to us the other day about it?
yes, it's boss. That's the.
Someone like to move we have a 5. Someone like to move we have a 5-minute break?
Yes.
Councillor Ty, seconded Councillor Castles. All those in favour?
Aye.
I declare carried. Thank you.
Lovely.
bigger question.
Thank you, Flick. Coming back into the meeting, councillors. So we're returning to report 19.7, being the Learn to Swim School Travel Support Program. Ms. Pipos is here to present to us. Thank you, Ms. Pipos.
Thank you, councillors. This report, as you would be aware, has come out of a submission to the operational plan that council support or fund support, provide funds, sorry, to support Learn to Swim for children within the Moree township. So you will see that we've put together a guideline for the School Learn to Swim travel support program. It's based around the eligibility to participate in the New South Wales Department of Education School Swimming and Water Safety Program for the 2025-26 financial year. And it is about providing buses to those schools that wish to avail themselves of this program to travel to a public swimming facility within the Moree Plains Shire.
Thank you very much, Ms. Pipos. Councillors, do we have a mover? Councillor Sawyer, seconder. Councillor Ty. Councillor Sawyer, would you like to speak to it?
I just think it's a really great program. It's a really good stopgap in the meantime while we're sorting out some legacy issues with the pool and can get to a point that we can offer lessons to the children here. We all know and have heard, I guess, council's dissatisfaction, particularly around raising a generation of children that can't learn to swim. Whilst it's less than, I guess, an ideal outcome, I think it's a positive step that council can potentially support schools to facilitate taking kids to school lessons, particularly when travel is the biggest constraint around that. So,
thank you, Councillor Sawyer. Councillor Ty. Any speakers against the motion? No. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? No. Right. Declared carried. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Pipos. Moving on to report 20.1, the review of the public submissions into the Code of Meeting Practice. Mr. Stoneman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will take some time to step through this. There's some pieces that I just want to be clear that council is fully across. At the April council meeting, it was resolved to place our revised draft of Code of Meeting Practice on public exhibition, and it was determined that the report be presented back to council if there had been any submissions. Council received one submission that in substance was directed at the Code of Meeting Practice, despite the fact that the submission's various references actually quoted the Code of Conduct. The submission is provided in your papers so that you can see. The submission was directed to the Code of Public Forums generally, and particularly clause 4.3 of the draft Code of Meeting Practice. The submission raises concerns that the draft Code of Meeting Practice unduly restricts community participation in public forums. In particular, it's clause 4.3, which requires that individuals wishing to participate in public forum must apply to do so by 5 p.m. on the Tuesday before the public forum and identify which item they wish to speak on. With respect to the submissions and the draft Code of Meeting Practice, clause 4.3 is intended to support the orderly conduct of public forums by providing staff with an indication of how many members of the public are likely to speak and the subject matter of their speeches, which is best practice across all of New South Wales government councils. Consistent with the 2022 Code of Meeting Practice and draft Code of Meeting Practice reserves discretion to the general manager or their delegate to refuse applications to speak at the public forum. Refusals must be supported by written reasons provided by the applicant. By default, up to 2 speeches can be made for or against each of the items on the agenda. All of the provisions in Part 4 public forums of the draft Code of Meeting Practice are non-mandatory provisions. This means Council may amend these provisions as it sees fit, provided that the amendments do not offend mandatory provisions anywhere else within the document. While Council is required to consider the submissions, it is not required to amend the Code of Meeting Practice as the submitter has suggested in their submission. It's recommended that Council note the submission received and that Council adopt the Code of Meeting Practice document presented at the ordinary Council meeting in April as the final Code of Meeting Practice for the Council.
Thank you, Mr. Stoneman. Do I have a mover for the motion?
It was long and protracted.
Thank you. Sorry, Councillor Mailer seconded Councillor Castles. Councillor Mailer, do you want to speak to the motion? No, Councillor Castles, do you want to speak to the motion?
Thank you.
Any speakers against the motion?
Yep.
Councillor James?
Not so much against the whole entire Code of Meeting Practice, but we're given in here that we will only allow 2 speakers from the gallery for or against on any motion. Public forums are there for the public to divulge their interest or their knowledge on a subject that may be on the agenda or business item. And we're saying here that they have to register to speak, but not only that, only 2 people can speak for or against on a matter. The community's voice needs to be heard on certain things, so I don't know why we're restricting it to only 2 people can speak from the gallery on any given subject when it could be something that affects the entire community and where we need clarification from those people as to what we as councillors should be doing.
General Manager, do you want to provide comment?
Through you, Mayor. This is becoming a little bit of a standard practice in many councils, and it is not a intent to dilute the community's view. It is intended to manage the amount of speakers, because it is possible that occasionally, if there are a number of people that are against, you can get an overload and get 7, 8, 10 all saying similar things. What the intent of this is that when that does happen, council staff connect those speakers or those people that are required to, or that would like to be heard. And then the main differences of whether it's positive or negative are included in those presentations. So the main point would still be provided, but without having to really elongate the amount of time that the forum goes for. So this is just done not from a dilution of interest in what council should hear from the community for, but more about management of the administrative time and also the length of these meetings.
Thank you, Ms. Cowley. Councillor Williams, do you have a question?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I ask why the author is redacted?
Put it to the General Manager.
Through you, Mayor, this was done in an effort to not provide extra impact on who the author is, because the author has been a previous member of council.
Thank you. Councillor Mailer has moved the motion. Would you like to respond to Councillor James speaking against the motion?
Yep. So I think the purpose here is to try and maintain an orderly process in the meeting. That's primarily what it's about. So there's ample opportunity for the community to reach out to councillors and to make their case outside of the actual council meeting. And there are situations where the meeting can descend into a fairly disorderly process if we don't have a clear understanding of how it works and what's happening. So I think it's very useful to have a clear set of rules and guidelines for how we we manage ourselves and manage the public forum so that it doesn't become ambiguous or disorderly as a public forum.
Thank you, Councillor Mel. Any speakers against the motion? I'll put the motion of Councillor Sawyer.
I propose a slight amendment to the motion.
You'd like to move an amendment?
Would you like some context behind my amendment?
You move your amendment and then we'll see if
I
we
would
get a
like
seconder for, yeah.
I would like to add a point 4, which is that council communicate this widely so that, you know, using social media or whatever means as possible to help people to understand how they can best utilise the public forum with these rules.
Thanks.
Within the parameters of the code.
Yeah.
And still utilise that time to address council.
Okay, so do you want, yeah. Minute taker, you're doing an excellent job. Informed? Councillor Sawyer, can you please help out the minute taker with your proposed amendment?
Of the what do we say? I guess the code of conduct relating specifically to public.
Code of meeting practice.
Thank you. Oh my goodness me.
We're all tired. It's fine. Let's
Code
we'll
of
get
meeting
there.
practice. Public forums.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Sawyer. Is it I'll ask the mover, are you comfortable with the amendment? Great. Okay. And the seconder, are you comfortable with the amendment? Fantastic. I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Declared carried. Thank you, councillors.
I'll be against. Councillor Pearce?
Yes, that's minute taker. Yeah, Councillor McGrady as well. Sorry, big business paper today. Okay, we move into our late reports, being 21.1. The request for tender outcome, Artesian Bath passive and active reconstruction, Mr Fitzgerald.
Through the chair, council sought expressions of interest for the restoration of the 2 hot pools in Village.
I'm sorry.
I think 3 expressions of interest were received. Project manager contacted over 15 firms to seeking interest. At the end of that process, council followed a select tender process seeking submission for 3. 2 Urban Aquatics and Conseth carried out inspections of the site. To close the tender period on the 14th, midday 14th of August, we received no submissions or tenders. We received 1 late non-complying tender submitted directly to council at about 4 p.m. that afternoon. I think the price submitted for that was around a touch under 2.7 million.
Wait 1 second.
Oh, sorry.
We need to move. We go into, sorry, closed council. Would someone like to move? So we need to go into closed council for any commercial in confidence information. Would someone like to move that we go into closed council? Councillor Hodgkinson, seconded Councillor Cassels. All those in favour?
Aye.
Declared carried. Thank you. Carried. Thank you. Okay, we're back out of closed council. So just going back into our consideration of the report regarding the tender outcome for our artesian baths. Councillors have just been provided the additional information, the commercial and confidence information in the brief closed session. We have a recommendation that council receive and rejects the tender application and delegates authority to directly negotiate with appropriate providers outside of the standard procurement policy if required for the provision of services necessary to complete this project, with funding to be drawn from the allocation available under the Local Roads and Community Infrastructure Program. Someone like to move? Councillor Sawyer, moving that, and a seconder. Yes. Councillor Mailer, would you like to speak to it, Councillor Sawyer? Oh, sorry, there are two additional points, sorry, that I missed. Delegate, or sorry, this has changed. The recommendation has been updated to not.
That's the one I'm moving.
Okay, you're comfortable with that, Councillor Sawyer? Thank you very much. And our seconder, are you comfortable with that? Thank you, Councillor Mailer. Would you like to speak to the report, Councillor Sawyer? Councillor Mailer, any speakers against? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Aye. Declared carried. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Fitzgerald.
Thank you.
We move on to 621.2 being the confidential report, code of conduct, special complaints handling agreement. It's a confidential report. We need to go into closed council, General Manager. Yes, would someone like to move that we go into closed council to consider the report? Deputy Mayor Ty, seconded Councillor Williams. All those in favour? Aye. Declare
I'll be breaking your leg then.
Okay, back into open council. General Manager, could you please read the resolutions from closed council, please?
Sure. Resolution on report 22.4, confidential code of conduct, special complaints handling agreement. The resolution is that council delegates authority to the general manager to make a written request to the Office of Local Government to enter into special complaints handling agreement in respect to the code of conduct matters investigated by Pinnacle Integrity Pty Ltd, ABN 21-162-022-022 during the period 14th of January to 29th of May 2025 pursuant to clause 5.48 of the procedures for the administration of the Model Code of Conduct in New South Wales. And number 2, delegates authority to the General Manager to refer the materials prepared by Pinnacle Integrity Pty Ltd with the same ABN number with respect to the Code of Conduct matters during the period 14th of January 29th of May 2025 to the Office of Local Government for reinvestigation and determination on whether there have been breaches of Council's Code of Conduct. Resolution on item 22.7, confidential audit risk improvement committee chairperson. Resolution is that Council number 1 delegates authority to the General Manager to make a written request to the Office of Local Government to enter into a special complaints
But that's the same, that's the wrong resolution. That's the wrong resolution. That one should relate to the audit risk.
It's the one at the top.
I think it's sitting in the confidential section, perhaps, Ms. Eden. Sorry, just bear with us. It was exactly as
the section 22, 21.
confidential. Item 22.7 for audit risk improvement committee chairperson. The resolution is that Council appoints applicant A to the role of chair of the audit risk and improvement committee as per the attached resume. Item number 21.1 RFT 25-08 request for tender outcome for artesian
This was done in
baths.
open council.
Was done in open council. Thank you. We go to the next one. Item 22.2 confidential expression of interest to purchase lots 1 and 2, 22 DP 758729, known as 30 Mogul Street in Mundai. The resolution is that Council number 1 approve the sale of lots 1 and 2, section 27 DP 758729, known as 30 Mogul Street in Mungandai by the process of direct negotiation with Landify Pty Ltd with an ACN 638868970 or associated entity. Number 2, delegate to the General Manager to negotiate a sale price in line with confidential notes included in this report in respect to 30 Mogul Street, Mungandai. And 3, that all documents associated with the sale between Moree Plains Shire Council and Landify Pty Ltd with an ACN 638868970 or associated entity be executed under council seal. Item number 22.3, expression of interest to purchase lot 159 DP 748657, known as lot 159 Wilga Place, Moree. The resolution is that Council number 1 offer for sale of lot 159 DP 748657, known as lot 159 Wilga Place, Moree, by the process of direct negotiation with ABCare, provided ABCare is successful in securing funding under the New South Wales Government's Aboriginal Child and Family Centre expansion program round 2, which closed on 1st of August 2025. Number 2, delegate to the General Manager to negotiate a sale price in line with the confidential note in respect to Lot 159 Wilga Place in Moree. Number 3, issue a letter of commitment to sell Lot 159 Wilga Place, Moree at the agreed sale price subject to ABCare's success with the Aboriginal Child and Family Centre expansion program round 2 tender. And number 4, that all documents associated with the sale between Moree Plains Shire Council and ABCare or associated entity be executed under council seal. Item 22.5, confidential sale of land for unpaid rates. The resolution is that council delegates to the General Manager the authority to negotiate the sale and accept any offer deemed reasonable in respect to the level of outstanding debt and sellability of the properties listed in the confidential report. Item 22.6, expression of interest to purchase Boomai Airstrip, being Lot 2 DP 528906, known as 7993 Carrigan Road in Boomai. The resolution is that council number 1, offer for sale Lot 2 DP 528906, known as 7993 Carrigan Road, Boomai, by the process of direct negotiation. Number 2, delegate to the General Manager to negotiate a sale price in line with the confidential note 1 in respect of 7993 Carrigan Road, Boomai. And number 3, that all documents associated with the sale of the land be executed under council seal. And item number 22.8, organizational structure. The resolution is that council 1, endorse the organization structure with functions in accordance with diagram 2 within the report. And number 2, receive a further report at the 18th September ordinary council meeting following the General Manager's consultation with staff.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, General Manager. Thank you very much, councillors and staff. With that, we will close our meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your company, Mr. Fitzgerald.
Thank you.